Each year, hundreds of athletes call Sportsplex West home as they work to separate themselves from the competition through different programs geared to develop athletes to become the best that they can be. Sportsman Media will be starting a new video series to highlight all that is going on at Sportsplex. This series will do a deep dive into the baseball, basketball, softball, soccer, volleyball, and football programs, as well as the strength and recovery programs offered. Welcome to Plexcast. Hey, thanks for joining us for another week of Plexcast. This week we'll be joined by Dakota, who is a part of D1 Therapy and Recovery. Can you kind of talk about D1 Therapy and Recovery? Like, what do you guys do?
I was brought on back in July of 2023, and we have been working with athletes and active population. Our kind of overlying theme is we try to optimize function to improve performance and decrease pain. And so anybody that walks in, our goal with treatment is to try and bridge the gap between the treatment table, so like decreasing pain with whatever we're using to try and eliminate pain, but bridge that gap to the sport, the position, the posture, the movement that's eliciting the pain or causing the discomfort that they have.
Awesome. So with all the different sports that obviously we have going on here, there's a lot of different types of injuries. So is there anything you're doing specifically for certain programs to help counteract some of the potential injuries that they'll be faced with?
Yeah, so there's different levels that we evaluate people at, and whether they're a player or just an active recreational mom or dad, there's three different layers of evaluation that we go through. So there is just the plain human level, so like looking at somebody and how they function or move in comparison just to a normal human that has no pain or discomfort. And then the second layer is evaluating them from an athlete's perspective. So like, what are some of the characteristics that athletes have, whether it's endurance, strength, mobility, all of that stuff. And then at a sport specific level, and trying to understand exactly how their body functions and where it compares to in their sport.
I know in the past you guys have done some treatment with Project 90 and other programs. So is there anything going on currently with like baseball or softball programs, any other sports?
Yeah, so we're starting to finish up with the P90, and we are entering into what we call our Arm Care RX program. The Arm Care RX program starts in April and will be 12 weeks long, but it's supposed to follow the length of pretty much the typical season, spring and into the summer. But the idea is to help combat any kind of risk factors or trying to implement injury prevention measurements to try and keep the athletes performing at a high level for as long as they can. So, yeah.
Awesome. And you're a former athlete, so how is being a former athlete, how does that help you, at least at Sportsplex, where you have such interaction with so many different athletes?
Yeah, so being a collegiate athlete means that I've probably had most of the injuries that walk into my office. But I mean, I played baseball in college, and so I know what it's like to have front side shoulder pain, or I know what it's like to have elbow pain or back pain or hip pain. And so being able to identify with those injuries or pain and understanding what positions or movements are provocative helps me to kind of build the treatment plan or be able to treat them and avoid picking the scab, so to speak. But like understanding the schedule that they're on, practicing and lifting, and then essentially playing. So I understand from that perspective, and I think athletes like it when they can come in and be like, I understand what they're going through, and the parents. So
awesome. And you kind of talked about the athlete side of the scheduling, but let's talk about your side of the scheduling. If people are interested in signing up for sessions with you or signing up in general, learning more, how would they do so? Yeah,
so if you want to know more or want to get in contact with me, my email is Dakota, spelled just like the state, Vaughn, VAUGHN @d1training.com. And if you're at Sportsplex West and want to know more information, just come to the front desk and we've got some things we can hand out to you, or if we're available, we can definitely talk about getting you on the schedule.
Awesome, Dakota. Thanks for all the great information today. Yeah. And if you're suffering any aches or pains or just trying to be preventative care, don't be afraid to contact Dakota here.
I'm here.
And we'll see you next week on Plexcast. Plexcast is brought to you by Sportsplex West, Sportsman Media, and Sportsman Solutions.